Zoom drives me nuts. Come on. Can you see it?
I'm still waiting.
Webinar is now streaming live on Facebook. That's what I have.
Okay, I see it as well. So you are live. Marvy, I'm going to make you host.
Okay, thank you.
You are now host, and I am hitting the record button. There you go. You're good to go.
Okay, I need to start my screen. Well, hello and good morning, good afternoon, or evening, whatever time of day it is for you, wherever you are. Thank you for joining us as we continue to present our Beginning at the Beginning parent sessions hosted by the Dyslexia Initiative. I'm Marvy Hagopian. The purpose of our meetings is to share ways you can support beginning literacy skills at home using a systematic, scientifically proven approach. Reading acquisition is far more complicated than simply reading to your child. To be effective, we need to have a deeper understanding. One important goal we have is to demystify what learning to read is all about. If we understand how we can support children's early literacy development, we can also learn to identify difficulties and seek help. Intervention in a timely manner is essential because children do not outgrow these problems. Ashley Roberts is a co-founder of the Dyslexia Initiative. She is with us once more and will monitor your comments in the chat box. Ashley, please say hello.
Good evening, everyone.
Because we have people participating from all around the world, please, if you don't mind, write your general location in the chat box. Ashley will acknowledge your locations. While you are typing, let me introduce our panel of educators. Panel members have joined us to share their expertise and insights. They are administrators and teachers who are well versed in the science of reading. Having experienced educators who know firsthand the value of teaching reading based on the science will significantly enhance our experience. Panel members, when I say your name, please say hello so we can see who you are. Let's start with Dr. Norma Baker.
Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Marilyn.
Hello and welcome.
Terry.
Hi, welcome.
And Michelle.
Hi, everyone.
Panel members' bios are on the Dyslexia Initiative's website. Today, we complete our discussion on phonemic awareness. We will review the I do it, we do it, you do it tutoring model, learn how to use Elkonin boxes to blend and segment multi-syllabic words, and look at an assessment we can download and use at home. This is the last session of our Beginning at the Beginning series. We will take a break and return in the fall. This will allow you time to go back and review or watch our recorded sessions. If you have visited our website, you no doubt have noticed we provide helpful PDFs for you to download, such as concepts of print bookmarks, the tutoring model, our slide decks, and more. We will use the summer to plan our next series of presentations entitled A Path to Reading and Spelling. This upcoming series will cover topics such as letter formation, sound spelling correspondence, decoding, encoding, which is spelling, and fluency. As always, the meetings will be sequential in nature and follow evidence-based science of reading research. So Ashley, could you please tell us from where members of our audience are participating?
I would love to. We've got Texas, woohoo, North Carolina, Wisconsin, Western New York State, Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, Iowa, California, New York, Florida, Oregon, I'm going to say it wrong, Geelong, Australia, Long Island, British Columbia, Canada, Minnesota, Houston, Western Connecticut, and Brisbane, Oz.
Wow.
Thank you again. Your participation is appreciated and is what gives us the energy and desire to share what we have learned with you. Let's transition back to our slides. We start each session with a reminder of the three cornerstones of beginning reading. Today we continue our discussion on Cornerstone 2, Phonological Awareness, the sound structure of language. Our focus continues to be on the most difficult aspect of phonological awareness, which is phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness, you may recall, is the ability to notice the individual sounds in spoken language. This skill is the most critical and challenging of all the foundational early literacy skills that children need to learn to acquire to successfully learn to read. However, the ease with which children develop phonemic awareness is often dependent upon each of the precursor skills and understandings we've talked about in previous sessions. So if you missed sessions 8 through 11 on phonological awareness, it would be worth your while to watch them because these sessions provide the background knowledge for today's meeting. We have focused on what skills children need to learn to become successful readers. We have also emphasized why they are important. Today, we continue to share with you how these skills are taught. We will also provide an example of a free, downloadable assessment you can use. This is the stair-step graphic we have been using to depict the various stages of phonemic awareness. We begin at the bottom step. Skills gradually increase in difficulty as we move upward. The beginning skills are listed on the 4 lowest steps of the staircase. Notice, along the right side of the graphic, we have identified the beginning skills, as well as the advanced skills. Today, we are only addressing the beginning skills of phonemic awareness. The ease with which children develop each of these skills is based upon a developmental sequence of instruction. We need to be aware of what children know and need to learn next. Ample practice and review are essential. Positive reinforcement, constructive feedback, making practice fun, and patience are elements we need to incorporate every time we work with children. When we let children know we believe in them, they will believe in themselves. Before we share additional activities you can do with your child to develop phonemic awareness, we will start with a review of a tutoring strategy we introduced in our previous meeting. This graphic shows an approach an adult can use to teach new skills. The I do it, we do it, you do it approach is a highly effective method for teaching and learning. In the I do it stage of this strategy, the adult establishes what the child will learn and explains why the task is important. The activity the child is going to practice is demonstrated with a couple of examples so the child knows what to do. After the adult has modeled the skill, the child and adult practice the new learning together. This is the we do it phase. During this stage, the adult takes the child step by step through the new activity. The adult checks for understanding and assists the child in successfully practicing the new skill. The adult provides feedback by commenting on what the child did correctly and what still needs improvement. Then the adult models the task again. This stage of instruction continues until the child has successfully completed the task multiple times. Now the child is ready to practice the skill independently in the you do it stage. Notice how on the graphic, the blue color of the I do it stage and the green color of the we do it stage wraps around the you do it stage. The adult always monitors the child as the activity is being performed. This is an opportunity to informally assess the child's understanding of how to perform the task. Then the adult can intervene on the spot to correct errors, thus ensuring the task is practiced correctly. Our observations of independent practice can inform us of whether or not we need to take a step back to the we do it stage. When we provide feedback, we are fine-tuning the child's understanding. Before providing feedback, it's a good idea to start the conversation with a few positive remarks. Reinforcing what the child is doing correctly helps him or her be more receptive to any corrections. The teachers in today's videos use this method quite effectively. In our previous session, we introduced Elkonin boxes, a multisensory tool. Incorporating a multisensory approach is beneficial when helping a child with phonological awareness. Activities that involve hearing, seeing, touching, and moving enhances and helps solidify the learning. Elkonin boxes are used for phonemic awareness activities. In our video, teacher Lisa Mcdermott will show us how she uses Elkonin boxes to help children segment individual sounds in words. So now I'm going to change screens. And let's watch her video.
My name is Lisa Mcdermott and I teach first grade. It's important for students to segment individual sounds within words. They need to understand that all letters have sounds that build words. If they can hear those sounds and pull those sounds together, they're going to be able to transition into reading. I use Elkonin sound boxes to help the children hear sounds that put words together. So each time that they're making a sound, they're pulling that sound into the box and trying to form each sound together to create a full word. So today we're going to work on a new activity. We're going to be listening to a word and we're going to be separating the sounds to a word. And then we're going to put the sounds together and make that word. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. For each sound, so for instance, the word it, this is the first sound, I. I'm going to bring down one. The next sound, t, I'm bringing down. All right, so each box represents one sound. And then we're going to pull the sounds together. So we're going to do that for a bunch of different words, all right? I'd like you to say this word, hit.
Hit.
Okay. Now, I'd like you to take some squares and put them on your mat for me, please. Let's do this together. You ready? We're going to put a finger on our block. Good. Now let's pull those sounds down. Ready? Begin. It, Hit. Nice job. How many sounds did they have? Three. Great job. I'm going to get you this time. Here we go. Tooth.
Tooth.
Nice job. Nice job. Great. Let's try another one. The word is duck. Okay, now I want to talk to you about something. Right now, you know what you're doing? You're thinking about how it's spelled, aren't you? What do you know about the word duck?
They have a diagraph.
They do. But what I want you to focus on are the sounds that make that word. So let's try that again. Bring those cubes back up. Great job. Okay, ready? Let's do duck again. Begin.
Duck.
Excellent job. In this practice, because the children are learning so much about words, not just in learning how to read, they're learning how to spell. They do confuse themselves when you're asking them, oh, I want to hear the sounds that are in a word that I give you compared to what is the spelling of a word. There are many times they'll say, oh, well, that has a digraph in it, so I have to add another tile because that's part of the word. And we always have to think about, well, what am I asking you to do? And usually that little revisit will help them go back to the sounds of the words and how we're putting that word together. I want you to turn your mat over now. And what do you notice about this side? What do you see, Grace?
There's 4 on the top and 5 on the bottom.
Excellent job. Grace, can you do brag? I want to hear every sound. If a student has an articulation difficulties, you might assume that these sound boxes wouldn't be as effective for them to learn, but they still are able to isolate sounds, and it doesn't seem to affect their building of a word. The most difficult words to segment are beginning and ending blends, especially at this age. First graders have most difficulty with the ending blends. A lot of times I use these sound boxes to teach children about blends. It's a little bit easier for them to pronounce those words and really understand that, oh, there's more sounds to those words. The multisensory aspect of Elkonin sound boxes help with not only hearing the sounds, but also with the kinesthetic piece of it. And then again, being able to manipulate the sounds and pull all the sounds together.
Okay, now we're going to go back to our slide. No doubt you noticed how in the video Ms. Mcdermott followed the I do it, we do it, you do it tutoring model. Her feedback helped the little boy she was working with. She explained why he made his error. She said he was thinking about how the word was spelled instead of listening to the individual sounds in the word. Daily phonemic awareness activities should take no more than 5 to 10 minutes per session. You can adjust the difficulty of the spoken words and increase independent practice opportunities as children become more proficient. Provide supportive, positive feedback focused on improving accuracy and automaticity. Automaticity is how quickly and effortlessly a child can perform a task. We found the next video on YouTube. This is an online activity you can do with your child. Notice how the presenter uses pictures as reminders of the target spoken words. Remember, phoneme segmentation activities prepare children for spelling. So we go back to a different screen. And I'll play.
Elkonin boxes, video 2. How it works. Listen to the word on each slide. Then help me say each sound in the word. Watch as I move my counters for each sound in the word. You can follow along at home. If you don't have counters, you can use 3 small blocks or Legos. You can draw 3 boxes on a paper. Let's begin. The first word is leaf. Say the word leaf. Now let's say each sound. O, E, F. Let's move our counters. O, E, F. Leaf. The next word is shirt. Say the word shirt. Now let's say each sound. Sh, t. Let's move our counters. Sh, t. Shirt. The next word is pie. Say the word pie. Let's say each sound. P, I. Let's move our counters. P, I. Pie. Hat. Say the word hat. Let's say each sound. H, t. Let's move our counters. H, t. Hat. The next word is nut. Say the word nut. Let's say each sound. N, t. Let's move our counters. N, t. Nut. The last word is kite. Say the word kite. Let's say each sound. K, I, t. Let's move our counters. K, I, t. Kite. Nice job.
And we go back to our slides. Keep in mind there are 44 different English phonemes or sounds. Or if you're speaking another language, same thing applies. When doing phonemic awareness activities with children, incorporate words that contain as many different sounds as possible. Words with consonant blends at the beginning of a word, such as the GR in gray, or at the end of a word, for example, the MP in jump, may be difficult for some children, but don't let that stop you from choosing such words after a child is able to segment words with 3 or 4 sounds. However, when moving into words with blends, you will need to start over at the I do it stage of the tutoring model before progressing to the we do it, you do it phases. It is advised you start with blends at the beginning of words before introducing blends at the end of words. In our previous session, We shared videos in which the teachers demonstrated how to blend sounds to form a spoken word. In one of these videos, the presenter used fingers to count each sound. In another video, the presenter used multicolored yarn knotted together to both blend and segment the sounds in words. Now we are going to focus on how to use Elkonin boxes to blend the sounds in a one-syllable word. Oops, let's go back one. Okay, I am going to say the sounds, and then I'll blend the sounds to say a word. Basically, I'm just going to do the I do it phase right now. The sounds are f, ah, k, s. Then I blend the sounds. Fox. Oh, my goodness. Let's do that again. Ah, k, s. I blend the sounds. Oh, you know what? Let me get out of this mode, presenter mode. I'm going to need to share again. Now this is going to work for us. F, ah, k, s. The word is fox. I'll say it again. After blending, the word is fox. Notice the markers are already in the Elkonin boxes before we start to blend the sounds. This is different from how we prepare the boxes to segment words. When segmenting the sounds in words, children move the markers into the empty Elkonin boxes. Remember, when doing this activity with children, you will not let them see the written word you are blending. Remember, phonemic awareness is an auditory processing skill. Now let's talk about how to blend multisyllabic words. The tutoring model we introduced earlier works well for blending multisyllabic words. Notice the underlined slashes in this graphic. Each set of backslashes represents one sound. Let's follow the routine's progression using the word basket. The I do it stage is first. I say, I am going to blend a multisyllabic word. I say the sounds in the first syllable. B, a, s. I blend the sounds. Bass. I say the sounds in the next syllable. K, e, t. I blend the sounds. Ket, ket. I blend the syllables. Bass, ket. I do the same thing, syllable by syllable, if there are more than two syllables in the word. Then finally I blend the syllables and say the word. Bass, get, basket. Now this is what happens in the we do it stage. I say, listen to these sounds. B, a, s. Let's say the sounds together. B, a, s. Let's blend the sounds. Bass. Listen to the sounds in the next syllable. K, e, t. Let's say the sounds. K, e, t. Let's blend the sounds. Ket. Let's blend the syllables. Bass, ket. You would repeat this for each syllable if you were working with a word with more than two. Let's blend all the syllables and say the word. Basket. Basket. In the you do it stage, the child says the sounds in the first syllable. The child blends the sounds, then says the sounds in the next syllable. The child blends those sounds. Then the child blends the syllables, doing the same thing until they've gotten to the end of the word. And finally, the child says the word. Always remember to check for understanding and provide feedback as needed. Many children struggle with blending multisyllabic words. This is difficult because children need to be able to blend the sounds in each syllable and then blend the syllables together to say or read a word. Elkonin boxes are helpful for practicing this skill. In the following activity, I will demonstrate how to blend multisyllabic words, syllable by syllable, using Elkonin boxes. I'm going to point to each marker and say the sound it represents. Then I will blend the sounds in the first syllable. Next, I will point and say the sound in the second syllable. Then I will blend those sounds together. The last step is to blend the sounds to say the word. If there are more than two syllables, the procedure is repeated for each syllable. I'll demonstrate this routine using two different words. Terry will help me with the we do it and you do it stages. Okay, this is the I do it stage. The sounds are f, whoa, thin. The next syllable is sh, ish. Then I blend the syllables, fin-ish. And finally, I say the word, finish. Okay, Terry, are you ready to do the we do it stage?
Yes.
Okay. I will say the sounds, and then we will do it together. The sounds in the first syllable are f, n. Let's say the sounds.
I,
N. Let's blend that.
fin,
The second syllable, sounds in the second syllable are sh.
sh,
Say the sounds again.
ish,
Let's blend those.
ish,
Let's blend the syllables. Ready? Begin.
fin, ish,
What's the word?
finish,
Finish. Good job. In the you do it stage, I tell Terry the sounds, but then she does the activity independently. Terry, the sounds in the first syllable are f, n.
fin, I, n, fin, I, sh, ish, fin, ish, finish.
Good work. Okay, now we're going to blend three-syllable word. Notice that in the first syllable, there's only one sound. So I will do the activity first. The first sound is you. The sounds in the next syllable are n, I, n. Next, I blend the syllables. You, n. Then I say the sounds in the last syllable. F, or, form. I blend the syllables, uniform, and then I say the word, uniform. Okay, Terry, let's do this activity together. I'll go ahead and point to the marker and we'll say the sound together. Ready?
U,
Next syllable.
N, I,
Let's blend those two syllables.
U, N,
The last syllable is
or,
mm,
form.
Let's blend the syllables.
Uniform.
Form. And the word is
Uniform.
uniform. Good work. Segmentation activities prepare children for spelling. Before I demonstrate segmenting the sounds in multi-syllabic words, I think it might be helpful to once again revisit the I do it, we do it, you do it tutoring model and look at the routine you can use for phoneme segmentation. I will use the word expensive. The I do it stage is first. I say, I'm going to segment the sounds in a multi-syllabic word. The word is expensive. I clap the syllables. Expensive. I segment the sounds in the first syllable. K, s. I segment the sounds in the next syllable. P, n. If there are more than two syllables, I do the same thing, syllable by syllable. S, I, v. I blend all the syllables and say the word expensive. Expensive. The word is, this is the we do it stage. The word is expensive. Let's clap the syllables. Expensive. Let's segment the sounds in the first syllable. E, k, s. Let's segment the sounds in the next syllable. P, e, n. Let's do the same thing for the last syllable. S, I, v. Let's blend all the syllables and say the word expensive. Expensive. For the you do it stage, the child does the activity themselves. My only responsibility is to say the word. The word is expensive. The child claps the syllables. The child segments the sounds in the first syllable, then segments the sounds in the next syllable, and does the same thing for the last syllable. The child blends all the syllables and then says the word. Remember to check for understanding and provide feedback. When a child is attempting to do the task independently and has difficulty, you may need to assist the child by revisiting the we do it stage. You could also have the child blend each syllable after it's been segmented as a scaffold. You would want to do this particularly if the child made a mistake. Let's put this model into action. Terry will help me model the we do it and you do it stage for the word expensive. Okay, Terry. I'm going to do the activity first. The word is expensive. I'm going to segment the first syllable. E, k, s. Then the next syllable. P, e, n. And then finally the last syllable. S, I, v. I blend the syllables. X, ben, sieve. And then I said the word expensive. Okay, Terry, are we ready to do this with me?
Yes.
Okay. The word is expensive.
E,
You clap the syllables first.
oh,
Did I forget? I think I forgot to do that in the I do it. Let's clap the syllables.
expensive.
Good. Okay. Let's segment the first syllable. Ready?
E,
Eh,
e, n,
s,
I, v,
Let's blend the syllables.
expensive.
Expensive. What's the word?
Expensive.
Very good. Now, Terry, you're going to do this activity by yourself. Remember to clap the syllables. The word is expensive.
Expensive. Expensive. E,
Let's try that again. Let's say one syllable, one sound at a time. Ready? Let's go again.
e, e, n, I, v. Expensive. Expensive.
Good work. If the child forgets one of the syllables, you can remind him or her what it is. While doing any task, carefully observe the child for understanding, accuracy, and automaticity. Remember, automaticity is how quickly and effortlessly a child can perform a task. Gently correct any problems you notice on the spot. I also want to point out that doing this task with a computer and trying to manipulate my mouse was a little difficult for us. Normally this segmentation process and the blending process would be quicker. Okay, assessments are used to determine what skills children know and what skills need to be learned. Anytime you're doing an activity with the child, whether it's letter naming or phonological awareness tasks, such as the ones we've just completed, you are doing a form of assessment. This type of assessment is informal and happens daily. Assessments are essential. Phonological awareness assessments serve three purposes. They can identify difficulties in acquiring beginning reading skills, determine areas of strengths and weaknesses, and monitor the progress of children as they develop phonological awareness. Assessments are used to inform instruction. They let us know when a child is ready to move on to the next level, or when we need to take a step back to reteach and provide additional practice of a particular skill or concept. The use of an initial assessment or screening tool can be very empowering for parents. Having a general understanding of a child's overall strengths and weaknesses in phonological awareness skills can make meetings with tutors, teachers, and school psychologists more productive. Let's look at an example of a formal assessment you can download and use at home. This document is free and downloadable from the Reading Rockets website. So I'll change my screens once again. Here we are. Now, one of the reasons we like this assessment, not only are the directions clear, easy to understand, but they precede each of the activities, so you don't have to hunt and peck for the directions. Notice this assessment has test rhyming, and here you can record the child's response. It also assesses identifying initial sounds, blending words, and notice here we have the correct answer for each question. Also, there's an assessment for phoneme segmentation, again, with correct answers. Now, the next two skills are more advanced. These are skills we have not addressed in our at the beginning sessions. But the test can be helpful after a child has learned these skills and practiced them several times. And those skills are phoneme manipulation and phoneme deletion. Back to our slides. If you are unfamiliar with the skills that are assessed on this test, or would like to review the information, you can always watch our recorded meetings, sessions 8 through 11, in which we describe each of the various beginning phonological awareness skills. There are other free tests or screeners you can download. Just search for free phonological awareness assessments and screeners. You can also go to our parent sessions on the Dyslexia Initiative's website. There you will find links to other free phonological awareness tests. Next, we turn to Linda Farrell, who explains how we can help struggling readers. Linda Farrell emphasized it is rare when we cannot figure out how to help the struggling reader. Let's watch her video.
The children that we worked with today were children that often puzzle teachers. And the teachers, well, they're in second grade and they're having trouble reading short vowel words. And they're in kindergarten and they don't know their letters and it's the end of the year. What's really hopeful for me about this is that it is the rare struggling reader that we can't figure out what to do and then teach them. The real trick is figuring out specifically what their problem is. Not he can't read multi-syllable words, but he guesses a multi-syllable word, but he's fine at short vowels. Okay, now I know, all right, he can read multi-syllable words. I just have to teach him how. He doesn't know his letter names and he's in kindergarten and we've worked with the letter V 100 times. Well, it might take 500 times. But here's the thing we figured out. The problem with letter V went back to not being able to retrieve the sound V, the name of the letter, because it wasn't in the letter song. If we can find out the specific problem, we can go back to the basics, and whatever the most basic problem is, we can fix that. What's really wonderful as a reading specialist who gets to work with lots of different students, sometimes it takes a lot of time. And that happens, the kids learn to read eventually. But sometimes you fix one little problem and the whole thing falls together. The trick is finding what they need and starting there. No matter the student's age, if I get a student who has trouble with G and J in third grade, that's where I start, with G and J. I start at the lowest level. And that's what we've got to be able to do, is pinpoint problems, practice them, and practice those problems to mastery. Because the reason the student isn't learning is because they haven't learned something to mastery. And every one of these students can be very strong readers.
We just need to take time to determine the gaps in a child's skill development.
Script is on there, Marvy.
Oh, excuse me?
We're
Oh, I was anxious to get to my spot. Okay, here we go. That better? We just need to take time to determine the gaps in a child's skill development. We always start at the point of difficulty, no matter the child's age, and then provide the child with the necessary instruction and ample practice required for reading success. Linda Farrell's message is uplifting and encouraging. We have explored and explained phonological and phonemic awareness and its implications on becoming a successful reader in sessions 8 through 12. We have shared routines, activities, and videos that will assist in teaching a child these critical skills. Today, we shared routines you can use when teaching a child how to blend and segment multisyllabic words. Using the I do it, we do it, you do it tutoring model, using a variety of activities such as utilizing a multisensory approach, we emphasize the importance of practicing skills until automaticity is achieved and reteaching as needed, as well as assessing daily while teaching and using formal assessments periodically. If you have been with us since our first meeting, you no doubt have developed an appreciation for how much children need to learn to succeed as readers. At the end of each session, we offer ideas on resources you can utilize To learn more about reading acquisition, here are today's suggestions. Visit the links on the Dyslexia Initiative website, and remember to use the I do it, we do it, you do it method while teaching something new. Play phonemic awareness games that focus on isolating, identifying, counting, blending, and segmenting individual sounds and words, and use assessments to determine what the child knows and still needs to learn. Please consider sharing the recorded sessions with family and friends. You may find watching them for a second time will help solidify your understanding. Recall that sessions 1 through 7 covered the importance of letter naming, vocabulary development, text awareness, background knowledge, and more. Our next series, The Path to Reading and Spelling, will be aired in the fall of 2021. The date of our first session will be announced on Tuesday, August 24th, on the Dyslexia Initiative's Facebook page. Our upcoming series will cover topics such as letter formation, sound spelling correspondence, decoding, encoding, which is spelling, and fluency. As always, the meetings will be sequential in nature and based upon proven science of reading research. Knowing we are reaching people from all around the world gives us energy and an enthusiastic desire to continue this important work. Thanks again for your participation. As you know, one of our favorite parts of every presentation is getting to interact with you. This is our chance to get to know each other, and it's your opportunity to make comments and ask questions about today's session or previous meetings while you are typing your questions. Ashley, could you please share a few more of the locations from where participants are watching?
We had a few more people from various locations in Canada. Perth, Western Australia. Texas showed up a couple more times. Wilmington, Delaware. Pakistan, Massachusetts, Montreal, St. Louis. We have a pretty wide reach tonight.
Well, that's fantastic. And, I really feel like today's session was especially important. And it nicely rounds out our study on phonemic awareness. I am going to just want to say that our intention is to empower you with the knowledge you need to become an informed advocate and to help you learn how you can support reading acquisition at home. With this knowledge, you can change the trajectory of your child's future. So let's open up our session to our parents for questions and comments.
So one question that came in was specifically, why don't you just use the letters rather than the tiles and say the sounds of the letters?
Who would like to answer that question?
Well, I would just say that that's a really good question. But remember, we're talking about phonemic awareness, and it is an auditory processing skill. When you use the letters, you move into phonics rather than practicing phonemic awareness. We don't want to show the letters because then you quickly move into a visual representative representation of the sound. And we're just tuning in, trying to get children to tune in to the sounds of the language.
You know, we can look back at our little boy that was working with Ms. Mcdermott. When he was working with the tiles, he added an extra one, if you'll remember, because he was thinking about how the word was spelled instead of how the word sounds. Now that doesn't mean that remember, we're working at the beginning of the beginning, right? We're working at the very early stages of these early reading skills. Really, they're the precursor skills before we even get to sound spelling correspondence. I do believe that there are teachers and resource teachers, tutors, who then, once the children are learning basic spellings, might do that. And for example, if they were doing that and working with the word duck, the CK spelling would be on one tile. But that's a later stage. That comes after our focus. That's not our focus at this time.
And you can use these particular activities later on with phonics. You know, it provides a child an opportunity to break words into syllables, to blend syllables, and to segment syllables with the letters. But that is a phonics activity rather than a phonemic awareness activity. As soon as you put letters with it, it becomes a phonics activity.
And I would just add, as was pointed out earlier by Dr. Motes, in our language, we have 44 sounds, but only 26 letters. So this phonemic awareness skill is really distinct. Remember earlier in one of the sessions, one of the presenters said you can do this with your eyes closed. So you're training the child's mind, the emergent and beginning reader's mind, on noticing the sounds in spoken language. Adding the letters is, now you're moving into a different area, very important, but it's right now we're laying the foundation. And phonemic awareness actually is a powerful bridge to phonics. The phonics is, you know, matching letter sounds to their visual representation, as Terry said. That's a very important skill in reading, but it's different. So the tiles really lend themselves well to phonemic awareness.
And I guess I would just add one more thing, is that with some children, their neural connections have not been made. They're having difficulty hearing the sounds in words. So we focus on helping them hear the individual sounds in words. Now, if you'll recall, you know, in our very earliest sessions, we were saying some children think the word cat is just one ballistic sound, and they have to develop those neural connections to hear those individual sounds. And working with the tiles or like the string helps them, supports their work on that.
Do you want another question?
Yes.
So there's kind of a string that's been going. And I'm going to try to break this down as best as I can. Can you explain segmenting the X into two phonemes, like S instead of the sound of X? I could see it for maybe being excessive, but I'm not making the connection for why with, I'm thinking she meant, I'm not sure what she meant with the end of her sentence.
Well, this is
She just said she's not making the
think
connection.
I think I understand. And if I am misunderstanding, please write another question. Ashley, watch for it.
Okay.
But X is unique. X is one letter, but X has two sounds, not one. X, the sounds in X are K and S, two different sounds. And if you'll, perhaps you didn't see Louisa's explanation when she was talking about it. She used the word six to prove this idea. So, think of the word sick. S, I, K. Sick has three sounds, right? S, I, K. But the word six has S, I, K, S, four sounds.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Was that helpful?
I think so. She hasn't added anything else. There's a similar question. Why do you use two phonemes for X, but three phonemes for form? I hear four phonemes in form. The vowel is a long O and the T.
Okay.
I don't think she meant T. I think she meant a symbol.
Yes. Another great question. There are 44 phonemes.
Mm-hmm.
Or is considered one phoneme. It's considered one sound, but it's spelled O-R. You kind of think you're kind of hearing O-R, but that's not how we pronounce it. It's or, and the experts consider it one sound, so I go with them.
Okay. And the first person that asked the question came back and she said, yes, that makes sense because it goes from the back of the mouth to the front. Thank you. There's an additional question. Can you please explain what is a reading trajectory?
Good question. This is their path to reading success. I'm just thinking I'm thinking in my mind, I'm thinking that we've got this arrow, right? And we're shooting for the stars. We're on our way. We're on our path to reading success. It's just my term.
Well, and actually, when you think of how you build your skills, as you build your skills, your competency towards successful reading goes up. And that's the trajectory. It's a slanted line up. So,
I would
that
say,
helps.
I believe the term means as well, the direction in which you're headed.
Mhm.
So our goal in these 12 sessions is to make sure that the trajectory leads to reading success. So I think it's the path, it's the direction, but it's going the right direction towards success in reading, which is the key to success in school.
Mhm.
And I think if you think about the curve, I mean, I've attended a lecture by the, Bennett and Sally Shaywitz. They talk about the curve of reading as well, and they're trying to display the gap that is represented
Yes.
with children that have dyslexia that struggle with reading. That curve is that gap is what you're trying to close in order to match that curve of the quote unquote normative child and the reading path that they're on.
Exactly. Well said. Well said.
You have a couple of comments, not questions. Alyssa said, my son was 3 years behind in grade 3. He's now in second year of high school and after OG tutoring is getting straight A's.
Wow, great. Success story.
Mm-hmm. The mom that asked the original question about the X sound, she said, thank you so much for everything you've shared. And Deborah has said, this was wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Yeah.
And that's all we've got tonight, ladies.
Okay,
Oh, wonderful.
this was a great session. Thank you for participating again. Our intention is to empower you and to help you become a great advocate for your child. Have a wonderful summer, and we'll see you in the fall. Thank you. Thank you so much. for
Thank you.
participating.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Have a great summer.
And Marvy, just as a reminder, you'll end the Zoom.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.